Hi booktube, Aaron here. Hope you're doing very well. Today I'm filming this with a certain amount of fear for my own life, because I've got a massive stack of books right next to me, just out of shot, and it's for the Beefcake Challenge book tag, a tag created by Al from Big Al Does Booktube. I was tagged by Debs from Rainer Read Stuff, so thank you Debs, and thank you Al for creating this. It's a bit of a challenge to read big books next year and to get you thinking about what big books you might want to read in the next year. So I got a big pile of big books, and let's jump right in. The first prompt: what are the 10 biggest books on your TBR for the next year? And so we'll go through, starting at the top, very high up. This is one that really only recently was sort of coming into the forefront of my mind as a book I'd really like to read next year, literally just the day before yesterday, I think. And it's George Eliot's Middlemarch, which I don't know, for a long time I'd been unsure as to whether I'd want to read it, and then I've been reading the Western Canon by Harold Bloom, and he has a chapter on Bleak House by Dickens and Middlemarch, and I just reading that, I don't know, it made me really curious, and I can't really remember much of what he had to say about Middlemarch, but something about the way he talked about it really made me want to read it, and it's got tons of stellar recommendations from booktubers, so I've been kind of intrigued with that, but just coming across it in that book pushed me right over the edge. Next up, and this is a book I think I might try and start the year with. I might try reading this in January. This is The Metamorphoses by Ovid. This is the David Rayburn translation, and I keep telling myself I need to read it and just keep forgetting about it, basically. So I'm going to try and make that a priority to start off the year with. The next one is one I've started before, and it's one that I told myself I'd probably end up reading incrementally anyway, because of a booktube event, but I've decided I'm going to try and make it a priority just to read the whole thing under my own steam next year, and that's The Sagas of Icelanders, and it's just a great massive collection of Icelandic sagas, and it's brilliant, with a preface by Jane Smiley, and who's it edited by? So actually say who the editor is? I'm not sure. No, it doesn't. Yeah, I've read Egil's saga from in here, and nothing else since then. I've read Saga of the Volsungs as well, but that's not in here, and so yeah, I'll make a concerted effort to get through some more Icelandic sagas. The next one is 2 books, but I'm going to count them together, and that's the next and final 2 books of Hilary Mantel's Cromwell books. I read Wolf Hall this year and loved it, and so I would like to read Bring Up the Bodies and The Mirror and the Light. Yeah, not too much to say, but just an author that I, been not necessarily putting off, but just have been kind of sleeping on, and just really loved her writing, so I'm excited to get back to her. This is a fun one. I'd like to read the complete essays of Michel de Montaigne. We'll see. We'll see if I do that in a year. The complete short stories of Edgar Allan Poe. Been meaning to just get back to Poe more and more over the last year or two, and again, just keep forgetting to do it. The Strudloff Steps by Humeto von Doderer, a great Austrian novel about Vienna. This is translated by Vincent Kling, and yeah, it's been one that's been sat on my shelves for a long time, and I keep thinking I'll read it for March of the Mammoths, and then something else comes up. But I think this March will be the March that I read it, hopefully. And then this is one that was in Deb's version, and it's one that's in mine. It's Jaroslav Hasek's The Good Soldier Svek. I first heard of this from Mark from Book Time with Elvis, who lives over in Czechia, in the Czech Republic, and he talked about it being a good, fun introduction to Czech literature, and so I got it, and then it was a case where you hear something, and then suddenly you hear it all over the place, and you hear other people talking about it, which was just quite funny. And then two more to go. The Cantos by Ezra Pound. I'm going to be doing this, sort of trying to get a small group read, buddy read together with Alan from Big Hard Books and Classics, and Greg from Another Bibliophile Reads. So we'll be probably later in 2025. We'll get to that. And then finally, this one looks bigger than it is. I'm primarily a reader of paperbacks, and so most hardcovers just look way bigger than the books I normally read. This is only about 500 pages, it's still quite big. This is Radical Wordsworth by Jonathan Bates. So there are the 10 books that I'd like to get to. A bit of a mishmash of novels and essays and biography and poetry, short stories. So yeah, a nice mix of things, I think. Right, where are we? Then, number 2 is How Thick Are Your Books? In showing you, I've sort of destroyed the stack, but I'll pause it and remake it because I'm going to need it again in a bit. Okay, so if I turn this around a bit, might be able to see some of my stack. And I've got my measure here, and I did do it again. I'm just going to put it to the edge just to double check that it does. Oh, it's not quite the edge. There we go. So that is almost 53 centimeters and very nearly 1 foot 11 inches. So yeah, not exactly a small stack at all in terms of its height. I'm not going to weigh them like Debs did. Number 3 is, do you think you can read them all? And if I'm just looking at the number of pages, that we'll get to that in a bit. Sure, I could read that number of pages in the space of a year, but they're all quite big. And if I was just to start at the top with Middlemarch and read my way all the way down to Radical Wordsworth at the bottom, I think I'd burn out pretty quickly. I'd need more variety of pace and style and of book length than what's represented here. And so I'll make another video hopefully quite early in the year and in the first few days of January to go through my master plan for reading, and I think that'll get into how I might manage to get through these big books without tiring myself out. Then moving on, number 4 is how many pages are they? So I went through, if there was like an index or something, I'd remove the index from the total. But so Sagas of Icelanders is 740, Montaigne is 1269, Cantos are 802 pages. Counting the Mirror and the Light and Bring Up the Bodies as one book, that would make 1294 pages. The complete short stories of Edgar Allan Poe are 955 pages. The Good Soldier's Fic is 752. The Metamorphoses are 636. The Radical Wordsworth is 509. The Strudloff Steps 850, and Middlemarch is 896. So if I've done my maths correctly, that's a total of 8,703 pages. So, so yeah, quite a lot. But looking at the number of pages I've read in the last year, I've read more than that total number of pages. So if it's just that factor I'm thinking of, I can definitely manage. But as I said, if I was just to read straight through, I'm not sure if I'd manage. Number 5. Do you even lift books, bro? So lift your stack. Well, let's see, shall we? I'm not sure if you'll even be able to see the whole thing. It is quite a big stack, and I'll do it so you can see the spines because it's a bit nicer. But yeah, I can lift. And then the only other one then is to tag someone, and I'll leave it open. And so if you'd like to do this, there we go. If you'd like to do this, and haven't been tagged, or have been tagged and need a reminder, then yeah, give it a go. But yeah, thank you again, Debs, for tagging me. And yeah, thank you for watching. And yeah, have a good rest of your day. Take care. Bye bye.